Family is considered to be one of the most important things in the world. It's there for you on your highest and lowest days. However, the expression blood is thicker than water is not the best outlook to life, and this brief case is a strong argument against the common phrase. Today we will explain how family can be greedy, dangerous, and manipulative to get what they want, all to support this case's claim. Blood is thinner than it seems. Families can be greedy, and sometimes they will do anything to get another member's will after death. It could escalate so far that families will ruin relationships just to get what they think they deserve. A perfect example of this was within the Jackson family. Michael Jackson was a world phenomenon with his dozens of hits and insane audiences at concerts. Now, Jackson came from a very big family with lots of siblings, but the five most important ones for this moment are Tito, Janet, Jermaine, Rebby, and Randy. Now, in 2009, headlines that shocked the world arrived when Michael was found dead in Los Angeles. The cause of death is said to be an overdose. This hit the family and audiences hard as it was so unexpected, especially because Jackson was so young. With such a star having an unexpected death, the world wanted to know what would be done with his endless amounts of riches. Well, luckily, Michael had already created a will that stated 40% of his riches would go to his three children, Paris, Biggie, and Prince. However, none would be given to his previous wives. Another 20% would then go to various charities that Jackson supported during his time. Finally, the last 40% would go to his mother, Catherine. Weirdly enough, all of the Jackson siblings were excluded from the will. For about 10 years, the family accepted these facts and took the time to mourn the star's death. However, the peace did not last long. Suddenly, in 2012, Jackson's five siblings came out to the world and claimed that the will was fake. They stated that there was no possible way that Jackson could have signed it on July 7, 2002, because he was famously with Al Sharpton in New York City. So, chaos erupted. Infighting between the siblings and Jackson's kids became so intense that a physical altercation broke out between Paris and Janet. The siblings also drove their mother to a spa and cut off all her phone access, trying to make it seem like she was kidnapped. The drama between the Jackson family was a perfect display of how greedy families can be and the ridiculous lengths they would go to get what they want. Instead of mourning his death and honoring his legacy, the Jackson family had infighting over who deserved the riches of a star that left this world too soon. This brings us to our second point. Family can be dangerous and have ill intentions and harm other relatives. Coleman v. Piera is a gruesome but good case to look at. The Piera family consisted of the father, Martin Piera, the mother, Sharon Coleman, and their 3-year-old daughter, Zoe Autumn Piera. The family was in an intense custody battle back in 2019. Sharon Coleman had begged the courts to have full custody. She claimed that Martin no longer had a grip on reality and that his mental health was declining quickly. However, the courts ignored her pleas. Finally, during his second weekend visit with Autumn, Piero told Coleman that he would never see his daughter again. On May 3, 2019, Piero made his threats come to fruition. In Queens, New York, he chained the doors of his Audi shut with Autumn still inside and lit the car on fire. The man even went so far as to call Coleman and show her their burning daughter inside the car. He was then seen fleeing the scene when he caught himself on fire, but was later caught in a pond nearby by police. Autumn was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead when she arrived. Gruesome stories such as these show that family can be dangerous when mental health comes into question. Being blood-related does not mean that they have good intentions. Family does not always equal safety. To move away from such a terrible tragedy, let's turn to our last point of today. Family can manipulate and use you. The animated princess movie, Tangled, is based around a young girl by the name of Rapunzel. She has lived in a tower her whole life with her mother, Gothel. The reason for a housing situation was because of her hair. A powerful plant called the sundrop flower has powers that reverse aging and heal injuries. Before the girl had been born, her mother drank a mixture with the plant inside to heal herself during pregnancy. Somehow, Rapunzel was born with the powers of the plant, and when her hair is brushed, she could do the same things that the plant could. Due to her abilities, Mother Gothel kept her locked away in a tower. She used strong manipulation tactics to get her to trust her. She also made up lies to make the world seem like a dangerous and terrible place. The worst part of it all was the guilt tripping, as Rapunzel was a big-hearted and naive girl who loved a woman who never really cared about her, but only the powers of her hair. Now, there is always another argument that Mother Gothel was actually right. The world was in fact a very dangerous place and would hunt down Rapunzel had they known of her powers. If Mother Gothel was not the one using her, then it would have been someone else who might have abused her along in the process. On the contrary, an audience has to remember that Mother Gothel is not actually Rapunzel's mom. She stole her from her family as an infant, so Rapunzel couldn't have possibly remembered her real parents. Had she not been taken, the princess would have been under royal guard, so it is doubtful that anyone could have kidnapped her and used her for her powers. Mother Gothel also stole any joys of the world that Rapunzel could have experienced for 18 years, such as falling in love. Had Rapunzel stayed with her family, it is doubtful that her mother and father would have used her how Mother Gothel did. Mother Gothel was a manipulator who used a beloved princess to suffice her needs of living forever. She lied and guilt-tripped Rapunzel into staying in her tower instead of enjoying the real world. Mother Gothel is an evil woman who got what she deserved at the end of the movie. Blood is thicker than water is a much outdated phrase. Firstly, family can be greedy and cause infighting to get something that was never theirs to begin with. Next, family can have ill intentions when mental health is involved, causing dangers to you. Finally, family can manipulate and use you in order to benefit themselves. This brings the case to a close, concluding that blood can be thinner than it seems.